Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I am back with my International Cadet 75 vintage lawnmower, minus the mower part. As you can see, this thing is rough, but nevertheless I am trying to fix it up and get it back into operation. If you didn't see the last video on it, we did a cleanup. It was covered in dirt and moss, and I used the pressure washer to get all that off. At the end of the video, we were left with a clean mower. It blew all the dirt and moss off. However, the fiberglass, yes, this is a fiberglass body, which is good because it's not rusting out like everything else around it. But you can see that it is just sun-baked and etched, and there is still some stuff that is really stained on there that the pressure washer just didn't get off. You can see it better right there probably. So it did not clean it up fully like I had hoped. Now, the last video did pretty well, and I got some good recommendations of what I could try to fix that. And at the end of that video, I did pretty much say, oh well, I guess this is what we're left with. But I did get to thinking after I filmed it that I can take it a step further and get it cleaner. And that's what we are going to do in this video. Last time we were relying on the pressure washer to blast everything off, but today we are going to actually get physical and scrub it off by hand. And this is what a lot of you recommended in the comments of the last video. Now, I don't have an orbital sander, which would make this go a lot quicker, but we just painted some rooms in the new house here, so I have a lot of these sandpaper blocks. I also have some SOS pads and some simple green. And what I plan to do is we're gonna spray an area with the simple green, hit it with this medium grit sandpaper and give it a good scrub, and we'll come back with the SOS pad to get a finer grit on there, so that way it doesn't leave it too rough. And we'll see what that does. So without further ado, let's do cleanup take 2 on the Cadet 75. This seems like the best place to start. Nice flat panel, but I wanted to point out first that during the pressure washing in the last video, I ran into a few spots where it blasted some of the actual fiberglass off. That's how much I was holding nozzle on trying to get this stuff off. But this lets us see what the fiberglass is supposed to look like. That iconic Cub Cadet off-white color that looks like your yellowed 90s PC. So hopefully we can get the rest of it to look like that. So let's get started. Alrighty, I'll do the first bit here in real time so we can see what it does. Definitely doing something. It's taken quite a bit off so far, but it's going to take some more effort, if not some stronger stuff, to get the rest off. Look what it did on the sandpaper. It like gummed all up. Well, I'm just gonna keep at it, I guess, until my arm gets tired or falls off. Well, here it is after scrubbing with the sandpaper. All of that stained, mold looking stuff is now gone, and it is a lot whiter. But if you look real close, you can still see the etching in the fiberglass, if the camera will focus. Yeah. So I don't know if it'll help any, but next we're gonna come with the steel wool and see if that changes anything. Yep, as I expected, no difference between using the steel wool and the sandpaper, although the sandpaper is probably more efficient at scrubbing the stuff off quickly. But neither of them are affecting the deep etching scratches that you can see in the fiberglass. But it's doing a good job at getting all this moldy stuff off. So I think I'm going to keep scrubbing the entire thing with the sandpaper, and I'll have to come back with a different method to see if I can eliminate all of this etched fiberglass effect. Well, as you can see, the cleanup is going pretty well. However, I quickly realized that a fresh sandpaper makes all the difference. The more wore down it got, the more and more effort it took to scrub the stuff off, and eventually it wouldn't get it off at all. And it didn't take long for it to wear down either. So around this point, I decided to experiment with some different cleaning products. I tried Dawn Power Wash and some Penallen cleaner, but they didn't really make a difference. I think it's just that the sandpaper is doing all the work. Problem is, I ran out of fresh sandpaper, and while I was looking around to see if there was something else I could use, I saw my drill and remembered that I had a wire wheel attachment, so I decided to try that out. And as you can see, it's working pretty well. It's eating that stuff away. I was worried it would be too harsh on the fiberglass at first, but it's still leaving a smooth finish as long as I keep the drill moving. And I still went behind it with the sandpaper just to get it even smoother. So after I figured that out, I just kept on at it, going around the rest of the mower. I even went back to do the spots that I did only with the sandpaper, but I didn't video it again just so the video wouldn't get repetitive. You'll see how those spots turned out when we do the final results. Well, folks, after countless hours of scrubbing and drilling, I think it's finally done, although it's still not perfect. Mainly the etching is still there. Even the wire wheel didn't fix that. Although I have noticed that it's worse in some areas than others. If you look right here, it's not that bad. Around the seat, it's not that bad. And back here, around the engine, there's actually basically none. Mainly the areas that were all exposed to the sun. I think it can still be fixed with an orbital sander or a regular one. But I think I'm done working on the body. I mean, this has taken several days now to get it all scrubbed and wire wheeled, even though it's all seamlessly edited into one video. So it's taken a while to get all the rest of that moldy stuff off, but it's finally pretty much off. I still have some areas that I can't get to until I remove the body, like in between this bumper. And I don't know what this is. It must be something different because, or not that stuff, that's just dirt, but this stuff. I wire wheeled the heck out of this stuff, but it still wouldn't come up. So I don't know what to do about that, but I think for now I'm done with the body. I'm ready to get started working on the frame, start digging into it, and hopefully treating all the rust and getting all the moving parts moving again, because pretty much everything that moves is seized, other than the gearbox, thankfully. This was seized too, but I already removed the handle so I could wire wheel around it. And like I mentioned in the first video, I think it's safe to say that this engine has little to no hope. Yeah, that's milkshake. Chocolate milkshake, to be exact. Who knows how long this thing's been sitting out in the woods. I wish I knew exactly how many years, but I know it was a lot, and it's taken its toll. But we are slowly making progress on it, and the next major thing to do is get the body off so we can dig into the frame. And once I'm close to getting the frame done, hopefully, I'll probably come back with a sander and see if I can get all of that etching taken care of. I'm pretty confident that that will fix it. It's just a lot deeper than I realized, because I was trying to get at it with the wire wheel, but all of those cracks are pretty deep. My last resort option was to paint it, but I really wanted to try to just leave it in the original fiberglass look. But I think I'll be able to fix that etching with a sander. It's just not going to be right now. Well, it can't be because I don't have one right now, but I've got it the best that I can get it for now, so it's time to finally move on to other things. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more upcoming progress and videos on the IH Cadet 75. And I'm back. I just ended the video, but I made a discovery afterwards, so I wanted to add this additional footage. And if you stayed this far, thank you. But have a look at this. After I finished the outro, I decided to pull that battery out of there because those old battery cables snapped off. So I pulled the battery out. It's an AutoShack battery. I had no clue before researching this battery just now that AutoZone used to be called AutoShack. AutoShack was started in '79, and they changed it to AutoZone in 1987, apparently because of a lawsuit from Radio Shack. So that's some interesting history, but that dates this battery to the 1980s, from '79 to 1987. So that gives you an idea of just how long this thing could have possibly been sitting in the woods, because its last new battery at the latest was 1987. So that shows that this thing was probably in the woods since at least sometime before the 21st century. And AutoZone used to be Auto Shack, so the more you know. Anyways, with that, I want to thank you again for watching and hope you have a great rest of your day.